Hi everyone, my name is Julie and welcome to your yoga practice today where we're going to focus on stretching out the legs. So there's not going to be any flows today, nothing strong. You're going to work to where you're at, hopefully lengthening the muscles, getting rid of any stiffness that you might have in the glutes, the hamstrings, the calves. I am always tight and feeling stiff there. So you don't need anything. However, if you're a little bit like me and less bendy, you might want to have a brick or a belt to hand, but you don't need these. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start by lying down on our backs. So as you see, I was even sitting up on a little block here. I'm going to have my belt near me, but again, as I said, you don't need this for this practice. So let's take a moment, just engage your core as you start to gently roll down onto your back. And when you get here, just take a second to flatten out your spine. Maybe close the eyes for a moment and take a couple of deeper breaths. Inhaling through that nose. Maybe you need to sigh a little bit out of the mouth and just let everything release. So we're going to activate just a touch before we start to stretch out. So bring your heels in near to your bum, about inner hip distance apart, and we're going to flow with the breath, just trying to get that mind-body connection. So you're going to push your feet into the earth, and I just want you to peel your hips up as you inhale, and then exhale, lower the hips down. Let's do that 3 more times. We're just lifting the hips, breathe in, exhale, lower down. So this doesn't have to be strong. It's just about connecting to the breath. Maybe the eyes are closed. One more time, we breathe in, lift those hips. Maybe find a little squeeze at the top. Exhale, lower down. So we're going to hug those knees into the chest. Bring your knees in, and maybe we circle a little bit. Notice how that lower back responds as you pull those knees in. And just listen to your body. You never have to push anything too much, okay? Perfect. So we're going to keep hanging on to this right knee. And you're just going to extend your left leg all the way onto the earth. Let it relax completely. Hug your right knee into the side of the body. Start to maybe move it to the side a little bit, working into the hip flexor. And then we're going to extend that leg up to the sky. So you're taking it up to the sky. Maybe you're interlacing the hands behind your thigh. And just relaxing here. If you are, as I said, a little bit more bendy, maybe you're walking your hand up and hooking your big toe and drawing that leg all the way towards you, okay? If it's super intense and you're like, I think I need a little bit of support today, grab that belt and just hold on to the belt, okay? So a couple of options for you. And while you're stretching out, maybe take a second to turn your head to the right. Inhale back up to the center. And then just turn your head to the left. And then inhale back up to the center. Good. So in this pose, you don't want to have your hamstrings like screaming at you right now. You just want to feel a nice warm stretch. I even have a bend in my knee. This is how tight I am. I have to, basically bend the knee or else I do get those hamstrings screaming at me. So if you're a runner or you do other sports, this is a fantastic practice today. You can also start to move a little bit, maybe taking the leg to the side. And as I said, if you don't have that belt, then you're just holding that hamstring or the toe. Again, you can guide the leg a little side to side. So let's take a few more breaths here, softening that space between your eyebrows. Then we're going to bend the left knee, place that left foot onto the earth, and then just take this right ankle on top of the left thigh, pulsing the knee forward. We're going to do something called thread the needle. So you're going to thread your hands through this little gap, lifting the left foot up, interlacing your hands behind that left thigh, and then pulling your hips away. So this should feel a little bit stretchy, a little bit of warmth in that right hip, maybe the groin area. If this is really intense and your head is kind of lifting, you can't lower your head down, that's where a block or a cushion can come into play. You can rest your head here and then it gives you a little bit more support. And if this is, again, really intense, just keep the foot down and pulse your knee forward here, just kind of pushing into the knee. So whatever option works for you. Let's do a few more breaths. Keep pulling those hips away. And if you want, you can extend the left leg up to the sky. Give it a little stretch, maybe point and flex the toe, the ankle. And then we're going to lower that foot down. We're going to switch sides. So extend your right leg all the way down to the earth. We're going to hug that left knee into the side of the body. A few little pulses here. Perfect. Now let's extend that left leg up to the sky. So you're interlacing the hands behind the thigh. Maybe you're using that belt. Maybe you're holding your toe and your foot's all the way back towards your head. You know what? Go to where you feel your stretch, right? And then as you're stretching here, just notice, have you tensed the neck? Can you drop your shoulders a little? Can you feel the back of your head resting? Maybe sinking a little into the earth. You see, I've got my little bend in my knees still, but maybe I'm going to hook my toe just to get a bit more intensity. Feel free to rub the leg. Maybe you're moving your leg a little side to side. Finding that little bit of space here. Just a few more breaths. Remember, you can also turn that head. It's a nice way to notice if you started to tense around the shoulders. So just relaxing around the neck here. We're going to bend that right knee, place the right foot onto the earth, take that left ankle across just above the knee, pulse the knee forward, and then again, take those variations for that thread the needle. We're going to thread the hands behind the right thigh, lift your chest, and then let your body lengthen on the mat. So again, slip that block under your head or keep the foot on the earth, whatever you need. And you're almost actively flattening your spine to try to open up through the hip, your glutes, your groin area, and then maybe extending that right leg up. You can flex, point the toe, maybe circle through the ankle here. One more breath. We're going to release, taking the feet down to the earth. Shuffle your feet as wide as the mat and just sway your knees. Let them drop side to side here. Again, noticing that lower back. How does that feel? And then we're going to hug the knees into the chest. We're going to come into a happy baby. So you can extend your feet to the sky, maybe hold your thighs, or you're walking up and hooking your big toes and just drawing your knees apart, or maybe you're holding the outside edges of your feet. And then again, it's about flattening that back and then breathing into the spaces that feel a little stuck. A little thought that popped in my head. I'm like, I'm breathing into every space of my body. No, I tend to be quite tight. I do a lot of strength and running. And that's why yoga is amazing for all of these other things, as well as connecting to the body and the mind. So let's release those feet down to the earth. Take a little sweep of the arms back, stretch. We're going to come into one of my favorite glute stretches. You're going to release your arms down. You're going to extend your left leg forward. Let that rest. You're going to bring that knee up, right knee up. Lift your chest. Hold your foot with the opposite hand. So we're basically doing pigeon pose on our backs. We're going to lift that heel as you lie down. Gently guide your leg to the left-hand side. And you can almost pull your foot gently towards yourself. And this is so good to get into that glute and that feeling of being in pigeon pose but it's a lot less intense. And there's no pressure on your knees. If you do suffer with any knee issues, sometimes pigeon is not available. So we're going to hold here for 3 more breaths. Nice. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Extend that right leg all the way onto the earth. Hug the left knee into the side of the body. We're going to lift that foot, hold the foot with the right hand, raise the heel, and then just guide that leg out to the right hand side. Ooh. Maybe gently pulling that foot towards yourself. So as you see, I'm not kind of falling over to the side. My back is still on the earth, supporting, and I'm just gently pulling my foot across. So feeling that stretch here. Ooh, if it's a little bit too intense, bring it back. Good. I obviously need this practice today. 3 more breaths. You can always rock a little bit or find a little bit of movement. Perfect. So we're going to release. Take your feet down to the earth again. Shuffle those feet a little bit wider. Drop your knees side to side. Good. And then we're going to roll to the side. So just shift your hips, drop to the side, press yourself up. Shift to your tabletop. So nice and easy. And then just have your hands slightly in front of the shoulders here. We're going to extend the right leg back, and you're just going to push and pulse into the ball of the foot. So you're working into the ankle, the calf. Again, great for runners. We're going to take that right leg up, place your foot to the outside edge of that right hand, shift forward. Tiptoe your fingertips forward, open the chest here, and maybe wiggle a little. You can stay right here. Or if you want to lower your forearms down, you can take them onto that block or all the way down onto the earth if that's available. And as I said, if you're feeling it on those fingertips, you can stay up onto those fingertips, right? This is to open up through the inner thigh, maybe a little shift to one side. That feels good. We're going to take 2 more breaths. And slowly come up onto those hands if you are on those forearms, and we're going to walk our hips back. So again, you might want to have that little block handy. Walk your hips back, and we're just going to lift the right toes as you straighten the leg. So you notice my hips are elevated. I'm not sinking back onto my heel. I'm actively pulling my right hip back, and you can come up onto that little block or 2 blocks if this gives you more support. So let's take another 2 breaths here. And we're going to rebend into that knee. A little shift forward again, a little wiggle, bringing it back to all fours, taking that left leg behind. We pulse into the ball of the foot, stretching through that calf. Breathe. Let's take the left leg up, circle through the ankle, give it a little wiggle. And then we're going to place that foot to the outside edge of that left hand, and we shift the hips forward. Open your heart here. Tiptoe those fingertips forward. Maybe give those hips a little shift, a little wiggle. And you're just noticing how this side feels compared to the other. Maybe lowering down onto that brick. Maybe that feels not enough. You want to lower down a little bit more. You might notice right away there's a side that's a lot tighter than the other. If it is really tight, just notice if you've started to tense the face or you're scrunching up around the eyes. Right, every once in a while that little body scan is there. You can maybe shift a little twist towards that left-hand side again. Inhale, we're going to bring it back and just walk those hips back. Lift the left toes. Again, keep your hip elevated as you just pull and sink back here. Good. So feeling that stretch in the calf, a little bit behind the knee, hamstring. And I find that when the leg is a little bit out to the side, it gives us a little bit more space here. Then we're going to re-bend into that knee one more time. Take that little lift, push into the hands, bring it back to all fours. Let's just move through the hips a little bit here. A little shift side to side. Let's just finish off with a little child's pose. So opening up those knees, sinking those hips back, taking a couple of breaths here. Let your head rest. The arms can be forward, or maybe you're resting your arms by your heels. Take one more breath in and out. And then place those hands onto the earth. Rise up. Come into any kind of comfortable seat. Maybe you're just sitting onto those heels. Maybe you're sitting in that Sukhasana position, that cross-legged position. And just take a moment to center yourself, come back to that breath, maybe noticing there's a little bit more space in the legs, the hips, those glutes. And we're always just trying to meet ourselves wherever we're at. So thank you so much for joining me today. Please like the video if you enjoyed that and subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you soon.